Oh, Mario here. So I read the John Steinbeck classic novel of Mice and Men from the 1920s, I believe, and as usual, I have thoughts. So it was a great novel, 4 out of 5 stars. It tells the story of Lenny and George. These are, well, they're not technically related, but but Lenny's aunt had raised him, and now that the aunt has died, Josh takes care of him, and they used to be family friends, sort of. Um, Lenny is disabled, mentally disabled. It's not quite mentioned, but it is sort of mentioned that, like in the 1920s style, like he's stupid or he's dumb or whatever, stuff like that. Stuff I cannot say without getting cancelled. But anyways, so Lenny is a large man, but he is very slow. On the contrary, George is a medium-sized man, but he's smart. And if you tell Lenny to do a job, he'll do it. And how they go on a new farm, why they go on a new farm, um, what happens on the new farm, that's the story. And what they have to do in the end to survive. So see, Lenny and George have a dream to one day have their own farm, to not have a master. But you know, dreams are dreams for a reason. It propels you forward, but somewhere down inside, you know that dream's never coming true. Or at least in Lenny's and George's case, that was the case. Uh, but then in this new farm, you see, there is this guy, old guy, um, called Candy. He had some money saved up, and George told him about this plan. George had the plan, even though he just had the dream. He was a smart guy, so he had the plan of buying back the farm that him and Lenny grew up in, and so this old guy, Candy, has some money, and he's like, if we work for a month more on this farm, we can make some money more and buy back that farm, which is about $600. And they have together about $400 now. Now, why were they removed from that old farm? Well, Lenny liked to caress or pet little animals, little things, anything he found soft or cute. And he did that with a girl. And he had a habit when he had his paws on him. He was a large man. When he had a paws on something and you scare him, he wouldn't let go. It was sort of a trauma response. And he did that with a girl. And of course, she was the owner. She was the daughter of the owner of the farm or something. And she raised an alarm. They were hounded down, but they somehow escaped from that farm. And then eventually got to this new farm. In this new farm, well, there are some interesting characters. There is the son of the farm owner who is very insecure because he is very small guy, and he has a very hot wife, young hot wife, and he is very insecure about his height and about his stature, and he's looking for a fight with a big guy to prove himself. So what happens? How it happens? Does their dream of having a farm come true or not? That's the novel. What I learned from it was the power of a dream. Because it's so far away, um, and in their head somehow inside they know it's impossible, so it's so far away that it doesn't feel wrong. In fact, it feels good to indulge in it. There is this whole sequence where George tells him, oh, we'll have these animals on the farm, you can pet the rabbits because you like petting the rabbits and all. You can tend to the chickens, we'll have a coop for the pigs. Candy also chimes in because he was putting in his money, like half of the money was of Candy at that point in time. So they cook up the stream together. And does it come through? Does it not? That's the whole novel. And that's the thing. Can you live to the next day, survive the next hard labor, laborious day by just telling yourself, oh, hey, in the future, I'm gonna have big plans. I'm gonna have a Bugatti or a Lambo, bro. Something like that. If you talk about the modern era. But dreams have a price. Yeah, dreams have a price. You can't just. I have so many thoughts about it, but I can't do it without the spoilers. And it's a good novel. It's a short novel, so you can read it in an afternoon if you want. I read half of it, listened to half of the other thing, and the audiobook is very good if you want to check that out with the whole Southern American twang to it. Um, yeah, y'all know what I'm saying? That kind of accent. Um, and yeah, that's just about it. We all have dreams. There is also there is also one female character in the book. Well, two female characters, but like one major female character in the book who is not named, who is only known as Curly's wife. So it tells you about the time of the book. So say 1910s or 20s, Southern America, how it was, how harsh were the living conditions of the farms themselves. So yeah, I'll give it a solid four. And if you're looking for a short, breezy, but a poignant read, it's a nice story, and it's very nice to listen to. I'll highly recommend the audiobook if you can't get your hands on it. I mean, it's available on YouTube if you search for it. So, you know, happy pirates, happy pirating. So whatever. Anyways, Mario out. Ciao. Fuck off.